Coins are here. I sent off 15 coins in December to ANACS. It was my first ever submission to that company, to any coin grading company, period. I'm a newbie coin collector, coin roll hunter. My name is Andrea, and this is Dig for the Pony. Welcome. I have 15 coins to show you. This mainly proofs. There's a couple surprises. I'll put those kind of to the end. I tried to guess what they would come in as graded coins, and there were a few disappointments, but not too many. They all straight graded, which was great. There were none that were just details or that couldn't be graded. I felt pretty good about that, considering I know so little. I do use the Red Book for values, as well as looking at PCGS, NGC. There's so many good resources out there. If you're new to this, I encourage you to go to these coin grading websites, all of them that you can, and to go into the resources sections and look at what you can learn. Because in addition to books and values and all that, there's just a lot of history on each coin. And that was initially what spurred my interest. I found in my mother's things after she passed a bag. It was a leather bag, tooled, really kind of cool. I knew it had been my grandparents' bag. And inside it were all these Morgan dollars, which was awesome. I knew what they were, but I kind of put them off to the side and didn't think much of them. Now, she will be gone 9 years in May. And it wasn't until about 18 months ago that I kind of took them out again and started looking at them and thinking, I'd really like to learn more about this. And I also she had a sewing tin that was just loaded with old Lincoln cents, a few Wheaties in there. And again, I went through that, and I'd like to get better at looking for errors. So I've kind of saved different coins to go through later. But then I got into coin roll hunting, and then that snowballed into, eBay is a great resource. Started buying up proof sets. And I did that before the silver prices went up, which worked really well for a lot of reasons. But so this ANACS submission, a lot of Franklins that are all from proof sets, some Kennedys, and a couple surprises. So 15 coins. If you're here and you're new to coin collecting, I really would love to have you say hi in the comments, and subscribe, like, if you're so inclined. I hope to do more of these, specifically with coin grading, but I'm going to plan on doing some other videos that relate to what I've found to be useful as a new collector in terms of resources, like I mentioned, in terms of tools that I use to look at coins. My eyes aren't what they used to be. And just in general, how my enjoyment of the hobby has grown. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. I mean, it's easy if you want to, but you can also just be looking through your pocket change and find real treasures. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the 15 coins that I got back from ANACS, and I hope you enjoy. Check out the PCGS collection if you haven't already, and I hope you'll look forward to more from Dig from the Pony. Thanks for watching. So the first coin that I have here is a 1951 1-cent proof. It is PF 64, meaning proof 64. I got this off of eBay. I unfortunately paid about the same price as it is valued, which is $75. I thought it was a beautiful coin. I did overpay. I know I did. But the good news is it's now slabbed. It's going to be safe, and I'll enjoy it for years to come. I think that the one thing that the Lincoln cent no longer being made has done is make me appreciate the beauty of the penny a lot more, and particularly proofs, although there's some incredible business strikes that I have in my collection as well now. So anyway, that is the first coin, worth $75 or so, PCGS says. That's something that should be noted when you send in to ANACS. They don't give you a value based on their grade, which I'm fine with that. but it was kind of surprising to me since PCGS does that. Again, no big deal, but that's the first coin. And we have another Lincoln cent. This one is a 1970S 1 cent proof large date. And this one I just had in my collection. I think it was a proof set that I already owned. You can see a little bit of, it's got red, this one is red-brown, which I think is really neat because you can right there see the toning. And I thought that was very pretty. Back, you do have a bit more of the carbon spotting, which I knew was there. Send it in anyway because I really liked that toning on that particular one. And I don't think it was a mistake. Again, if they're Lincoln cents and they're going into slabs, they're only going to appreciate in value since they're no longer making them. So a 1970S. This one is an Ike. And this is a 1973S, proof 40% silver, PF66 decam. So deep cameo in this one. It surprised me. I would have given it cameo for sure, but deep cameo was a surprise. I got this for very cheap off eBay, and so that was a nice win. I really didn't lose money in this entire process because the $14 thing was so cheap to send them in. I think the hardest part was waiting, and that could be as much on me as anything. I just may have needed to upgrade and not been so cheap. But not knowing what to expect this first go around, I didn't want to put a lot of money in it. So this 73, I didn't mention the 1970S in terms of this coin's value is currently $18. This coin's current value is $28. And, you know, if you're in it to make money, probably not going to make money doing it this way, but I'm not really in it to make money. I'm just enjoying it. Now we have a nice Franklin proof. This is a PF67. It is a 1963 50-cent proof. This came out of a cello proof set. I was hoping for cameos, not on this one, because that's definitely not. But yeah, got a lot of them that weren't cameos, and I still wanted to send them in. More to put in slabs and just keep them because I like the look. And a 67 I thought was quite good on this one. It is worth $50. 1963 50-cent Franklin proof, a PF65. Now, that may be one of those things that only the trained eye could see the difference. I think that's true because I really didn't see much of a difference in them. And no surprise there. I am not surprised I didn't see it. I learned something about proofs in terms of, they talk about bell lines on Franklins. All proofs have bell lines. So when you talk about a proof or a designation of full bell lines, it's only going to be on the strikes. So yeah, just a little tidbit for those who don't know. I learned and thought I'd pass that on. So that one at 65, at the PF 65, 1973, worth about $40. Now, I did get all these values off of PCGS. Obviously, values change all the time. It isn't an absolute. And like I said, still learning. You can argue it if you want. I'm just telling you what I know based on this experience. I have lots to learn. So again, this is just fun for me. It's not like rocket science either. It's just kind of look at it and see what you think and roll the dice. This one to me looked a little bit cameo. I understand you have to have cameo on both sides in order for it to get a designation of cameo. And I guess that this one is not particularly frosty. This is a 1962 50-cent Franklin, proof 67. Still a respectable grade, and I'm happy with it. I think that for the most part, the silvers are just nice to have put away and safe. This one is worth $46. Now we have a 1961 50-cent Franklin, PF67, sort of identical to the other one. They did come out of different cellos, obviously. But this is a nice... Oh, I guess the other one was a 62, wasn't it? Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is worth $50 in this particular grade of PF67. I like the 61s for some reason. I don't know why. It's just, get an affinity for something. So both of those 61s were worth $50 and look pretty much the same. So I'll probably sell one of those on eBay simply because I only need one in the collection. And here we have the other one. Proof 67. Again, it looks a little bit in the right light, Cameo, but yeah, I'm not surprised I didn't get that on there. I was actually grading these a little than what they had. In my guesses, I had them at 65s. It's my understanding that most proofs kind of grade out at 69 or 68, 69, and 70, so maybe this is just kind of low. I'm not really sure. If you know, leave a comment and let me know. Obviously, they're protected somewhat in cello, but not like they would be in the hard cases, so yeah. And this one, worth $50. Then we have a 1961 50-cent Franklin proof in PF66. In PF66, it's worth $45. You know, I would hope no one would want to just melt these down, but sometimes it's a matter of melt value. People look at that. I look at the beauty of the coin and just appreciate that it exists. And I think that no matter what you collect or what you enjoy, if you can do that, you'll enjoy your hobby. And that's kind of how I feel about these coins. I can get rid of them, though. I'm not absolutely wedded to them. And if I scored really big on something, I wouldn't have any problem selling it after I enjoyed it for a while. I think that's how I would do it. But then again, you have the market to consider, so you got to act fast sometimes, and that's something to be aware of as well. And then we have a 1960. This one is a PF66. Again, they all are very shiny and pretty, nice reflective fields. You don't have any, like with coins that are circulated, and you're looking at them, you got to be looking for gashes on the cheeks or similar. You can get this in the light and see there's a little bit of off to the right, maybe a little schmutz there. But I don't think that dings them too much when they're being graded. Yeah, still a very nice coin. PF66, proof 66. And then I'll get down to the last little bundle here. I was kind of excited to just get back. This was part of my grandmother's collection. She had it handwritten, marked what it was, and it was just nice to have that. An 1857 5-cent Liberty seated dime. Half dime, I guess, is what they call them. That's what it is. So I'm upside down. Forgive me. I'm looking at too many things at once and I still can't get it right. There we go. And it's just really nice, a piece of history. I wanted to have slabbed, so I sent it in. It is valued at about $65. That is neither here nor there to me, but it's nice to know. Good information to have, I guess. And then we have another oldie but a goodie, 1852 3-cent, and it has rim damage. I don't necessarily have any information on how to value that because of that, but without rim damage, this coin is about $90. So, yeah, I mean, for such a tiny piece of silver, that's kind of fun. This one doesn't have a lot of luster left. I didn't clean any of the coins that I sent in. I have looked at coin cleaning things. I have cleaned some coins just to see what it's like, not the ones I would send in. With 100% acetone, I know there's several other products that you can dip, and several videos on that if you want to check it out. I think Ben the Coin Geek had one that I watched that was helpful. But anyway, F12 details on that one and the previous one. I forgot to mention that. So fine 12s. And this one is valued at, like I said, $90. or so. With the rims damage, I would guess out on the market, probably significantly less, more like $70, but that's just a guess. And here we have one that I sent in. It is an accented hair variety, 1964 50-cent Kennedy, proof 66. I bought this off eBay, but it was in a cracked ANACS holder, and I thought, well, let me see how much it'll be to have it put into a fresh holder. And that was $15 to do that, which I thought was well worth it. That was basically what I was paying for every other coin, so why not? If you're not used to looking at these, I had to learn that the FS 401 variety, which is the accented hair, is kind of that space above Kennedy's ear. And it's just a little bit more, there you go, a little bit more dramatic, more kind of like a V in the hair that makes that so. Also, over on the eye, which has a serif font, it's missing like the little space towards the bottom of the screen on the bottom of the eye. So it's kind of a way to tell, I guess. But proof 66, accented hair. This I paid $90. It's worth about $100 right now. And the coin, I'll just probably keep it in my collection. We do have a 1964 50-cent proof 67, Kennedy. 1964 was the first year that they did the Kennedys, and it is silver. For those of you who find them out in the wild, it's a nice find. And we're having a moment where I want to play with the camera. There's lots and lots of Kennedys of different years, and some are called NIFCs, not intended for circulation. And when you're coin roll hunting, you can find a lot of those. Kind of tough to find them in good shape, but you can if you look. You'll notice here on the edge of a silver coin, the silver is all silver all the way around. If it was clad, you'd see a layer that was kind of gold, and then the silver color. Some dates are 40% silver for the Kennedy, and some are 90%. And this one happens to be still a 90%er, so that was kind of nice. And it is, let's see, proof 67, 64. That one's worth about $55 right now. And then the last coin, which I'm sad to say is the last coin, another 1964, proof 67. And it, too, is $55. I look at this one. I'm glad it got 67. I'm a little surprised it did, because when I look at it, maybe it's stuff inside the holder that I'm seeing reflections of. I think maybe it's fuzzies from inside there. But again, had kind of hoped maybe a little cameo on that one. But it's so subtle. It's not, I'm getting it. The cameos are harder to come by. So those are the coins. A lot of proofs and a couple of fun ones that I think were kind of surprising in terms of I didn't expect to get 67s, honestly. Really happy with these that were my grandmother's coins, to have them slabbed. And I hope some of this has been helpful. I don't know that I will use ANACS again I'll use them for varieties because they're actually supposed to be really good for that. I'll also use them if they have some special and I have some coins to go in. But in terms of their customer service, when I needed to know what was going on with my order, it was really tough to get anybody to give an honest answer, and tracking it online didn't work as well either. So I hope you found this helpful, interesting, and if you're interested, like and subscribe. Thank you.